poor blacks who had just come from Britain. About 8 years later, there was a war in Jamaica called the Maroon War. And at the end of that war, the Maroons were captured and transported to Nova Scotia. And again, these Maroons from the West Indies were brought to Sierra Leone. And Sierra Leone then had two communities: the settlers, mostly from America, southern states, and the Maroons from the West Indies. In 1807, slave trade was abolished, and the British fleet had the task of intercepting ships taking slaves from Africa to the West Indies and America. These slaves and ships were landed in Freetown and legally and formally set free, and the ships destroyed.
The main link between the former protectorate of Sierra Leone and the former colony is a meandering railroad 311 miles long. During World War II, the bazaars of India and the jungles of Burma heard Sierra Leone soldiers sing about it in calypso style. The train to bow she no agree for to go. The engine she done tire for lack of plenty fire. The train to bow she no agree for to go. But go she does, bringing the bananas and the rice and the palm oil and the spices, the produce of the hinterland, into Freetown, making the former colony and protectorate one. And of course, trading is a two-way street, and it is to the coast that those from back country often come to buy pottery and tobacco. And whatever small items of luxury an agricultural people with an average annual income of $47 can afford. The marketplaces that hark back to ancient bazaars are side by side with modern shopping centers. Sierra Leone has its traffic policemen, its libraries, its movie theaters. Its department stores, stocked with goods from all over the world. Its 5 o'clock rush hours. And its new banks. And of course, its industries. Sierra Leone, for example, is the 3rd largest diamond producing country in the world. Its iron ore deposits yield more than 1.5 million tons of ore concentrates a year. Its exports, though, do not match the cost of its imports. Going out of the country, we have diamonds, iron ore, palm kernels and oil, coffee, cocoa, and cola nuts. Coming in, manufactured goods, machinery, fuel oils, cement. This imbalance will, of course, have to be corrected. Sierra Leone, as one observer said, is moving into the cold, harsh world of loans, advisors, economists, budgets, and deficits which go along with freedom and independence, and which is so different from the cozy world of mere legislative councils under a paternal imperialism. More aware of the challenge of freedom than any outsiders, simply because the challenge is put to them, Sierra Leoneans have started to expand their 3,000 miles of roads, using equipment as up-to-date as found anywhere. They are putting up government buildings. What would freedom be without a new parliament building? They're pushing ahead on housing and are adding to their 76 hospitals and clinics. Working in the favor of Sierra Leone's success is the country's absolute determination to push ahead with education. Here we see its 35th secondary school building. 3 years ago, there were only 26. At the primary school level, it has about 550 schools and some 75,000 students. At the university level, it has Fura Bay College, founded in 1827, the first institution of its kind in all sub-Saharan Africa. Affiliated with the University of Durham in Britain, it offers degree courses in theology, science, liberal arts, and economics. In addition, it has a training program for future teachers. The college stands on the spot where once was located a stockade for slaves. As if saying that the advent of independence was not just a time for dedication, but also of joy, one of the highlights of the week-long independence celebration was a beauty contest.
April 27, 1961. April 27, 1961. Granny and Peking all go gladdy. Young boys and girls all go rumba. 17, welcome to you forever.
During the week of independence celebrations, Sierra Leone played a series of soccer matches. They may have won independence, but not this particular match against Nigeria. Nine days before independence, Sierra Leone arrested 31 members of a party called the All People's Congress. The official explanation, quote, "The APC does not apparently welcome independence. They want to create disturbances, demonstrations, and confusion during independence and to bring the whole country into contempt and ridicule. These people are financed from abroad," unquote. One argument of the APC was that the country should have new elections before independence. Sir Milton insisted the election should come later. He was able to make his decision stick because of two things: his great popular support, here we see the unveiling of a bust of the Prime Minister, and second, the fact that his coalition government, elected in 1957, is supported by the tribal chiefs of the country. In fact, Sir Milton's solution to the common African problem of tribal tensions is unique. He has made the most important chiefs of the country members of his government. In an interview, Sir Milton discussed independence, the role of tribal chiefs, and the matter of elections.
I am very glad for this movement because I had walked for years behind the chiefs and they followed me very carefully. I feel it is about this time not a correct thing to leave them in a separate house just to be an advisory body. And in order not to disappoint them, I feel they ought to work with the government. Hence, I'm running only one house.
Governor General Dorman and his thoughts.
In the past, Sierra Leone has been a country that has had a strong educational background. As far ago as 1826, the University College of Fura Bay was giving higher education to West Africans. Well, now some people may wonder why it is that Sierra Leone is rather later in its approach to independence than Ghana or Nigeria. The answer is twofold. First, our own people have gone down the coast to help Nigeria, Ghana, and the Congo during the last century. The first missionary society expedition that went to Nigeria was mounted from Freetown. It included the first African bishop and about 20 African priests from Freetown.
Sierra Leone, one more African nation emerging into the bright light of freedom, proud of its past, hopeful, yes, and determined about its future. A country that remembers the bravery of the emancipated slaves who in 1787 built their homes along the shores of the Mountains of the Lion, Sierra Leone. May we all remember what President Kennedy's representative said to Sir Milton Margai. History has bequeathed on both our nations a common awareness of the rightness of our goals of freedom and brotherhood for all men. with goodwill and God's help, let us forge new bonds of friendship in a common advance towards this high goal.